Welcome back.
He's back. He's here.
In the flesh.
I was commenting earlier, it feels like podcasting feels weird.
Did you see I did that at the same time?
That was it's a glitch in the matrix.
You're a little more tan.
A little more tan. Yeah, I was at the beach. Which I didn't send any pictures to our producer. My guess is he might have some magic up his sleeve. I don't know.
There's one that I hope he finds and puts up there. It's awesome. Super cool.
The monkey photo.
The monkey photo. Yes. Well, welcome back.
Yeah.
Good to have you back.
So I went on vacation with the family, went to Punta Cana. It was very fun. Great resort, great service, great property. It was good. Good time. Good time to be away.
And you did a snorkeling excursion, right?
Swim with the sharks, swim with the stingrays.
I've done the stingrays where you got to hold a stingray, but the sharks, I've never swam with the sharks. So that's
there it is, right there.
That wasn't the one I was thinking of, though.
Yeah. I don't know which ones I put on there, but
there it is.
There it is.
With the monkey on your head. Very cool.
That may or may not be a man with a monkey on his head who had about 6 or 7 gin tonics by that point. Just going to say.
May or may not. So
it definitely was that man. All week.
Well done. That's the way you do Punta Cana, right? Or any Caribbean vacation.
Yeah.
You just got to let loose.
The resort was in the win column for food allocation per person with 3 of my family members.
Mm-hmm.
But they were definitely in the loss column on booze on my part.
I see. Yeah.
I made up.
Right.
We got our values.
Well done.
Across the gamut. So,
well done.
Yeah. So anyway, we're supposed to do this banter thing, I think, later, but we just did it now.
Mm-hmm.
See, Rusty podcast.
We haven't done a podcast since you tried to put me in an emotional pretzel. That's the last one we did together.
Is that long ago?
Yeah, I know. It's like the middle of February, like the dead of winter. Yeah, that was the last one we did together.
And we're still in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
I'll have everybody watching know that this time last week I was on a beach at 85 degrees, and this time this week I'm here with you, and the phone says snow squall till 3:15.
Right.
So
that's not cool.
Welcome back, Jim.
Let's go spring. Baseball practice starts this week.
April is in view on the calendar. Let's go. No more
power through.
Anyway, why did you bring up? I know. I just my check bag was full. Sorry, Jacqueline.
It looks like over our shoulder that there's sun in the window, but
it's a lot.
It doesn't help the 30 degrees.
It's a little lot.
It is.
Anyway, thanks for watching Lancaster Connects. This is the show about small business success, small charities here on Lancaster doing good. It's about the battle on Main Street, big versus small, David versus Goliath. And these two guys are happy to bring it to you. I don't know what move I just did there. That's like an island thing.
Yeah, it is.
Island Boy. We're going to start singing the Island Boy song.
So were there any Dominican things that you picked up? Like that's more like an aloha thing.
Yeah.
Are there any mannerisms or?
We really just stayed on the resort. I bought some great cigars on the beach. That's not quite a Dominican thing.
No.
Really good Dominican cigar though.
That's all that matters.
Great cigar. There we go.
The cigars.
Yep.
Very good.
Which I'll just say right now, I had the opportunity to, one of our things is, one of our core values here is integrity is what you do when no one's looking, right? So I had the opportunity, Lancaster, to buy the Dominican cigars, which is what's pictured, which is what I bought, or to buy the Cohibas, which are Cuban. But the rule is you're not allowed to bring Cuban cigars back in. And I know there's ways, right? I followed it, but I get to U.S. Customs and the agent just says, you got anything to declare? Alcohol, tobacco, firearms, just box of cigars. Okay. And he wastes me through. Doesn't check them, nothing. So I could have had the Cubans and they were a good price.
But that's a bummer. But I'm glad you followed the rules because your luck, you would not have. And
I'd still be down in customs.
Yeah, right.
Customs. My one phone call would have been to Ben. Hey, you're doing out of the show by yourself.
Right.
So anyway, but yes, we're still doing our banter and that still should be later. So why don't we just kind of wrap this jokey book up here?
Go for it.
We do prizes for the show. Jacqueline already commented in. That's how you get in. $25 restaurant gift card to a local restaurant. Comment, share, love the show. Hit that love reaction. It helps us out with the algorithm. By now, you all know what an algorithm is on social media. It's this wild thing that you don't really know about, but it helps. And hitting the love reaction, smashing that love button helps us out. So I'd love for you to do that. You can catch us also on YouTube, on Facebook, on a number of channels. We're like everywhere, even on your smart TV. If you search Lancaster Connects, we'll come up. They're one of those players.
One of them. Yep. And we got a fantastic guest today.
Right.
We will bring him on now. Dr. Keith Floyd from the iNVISION Group. He's told us to call him Keith, not Dr. Keith. Keith, welcome to the show.
Hi, gentlemen. Hi, welcome. Glad to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Well, first, tell us what the iNVISION Group is all about.
Sure. iNVISION Group is a leadership consultancy. We focus on the area of leadership and helping to grow and develop leaders in all stages in their leadership journey. And it's actually the firm that I actually founded myself. So it's my baby, so to speak.
And you have a pretty unique story about how you started iNVISION Group. Why don't you bring us up to speed? You can start from the very beginning and bring us into today.
Sure, glad to. So a little background is, I founded the firm on December 26th of 2013. So prior to founding the firm, I worked in education and academia for about 25 years. But take a step back before that story is, growing up as a kid, we didn't really have a lot. So my parents instilled in us a pretty strong work ethic, saying if you want something, you got to work for it, you got to go out and learn it and do all that. So I was like the really short kid who was pushing a lawnmower up and down the street to mow lawns when I was a kid and paper route and all this. So fast forward my education career, which I enjoyed immensely. It was a great opportunity to work in the community. And at the same time, though, that entrepreneurial itch was always there. So December 26th, 2013, normally sleep like a baby. I couldn't sleep. Got up, came downstairs, was in the office, working a little bit. Kept feeling that entrepreneurial itch in that voice in the back of my head. Finally, then I grabbed a tablet, a pen, a glass of wine, went in the living room and sat down. And 2.5 hours later and 5 pages of scribble, I'd birthed my firm. And iNVISION Group began to exist.
Day after Christmas.
Day after Christmas. Yeah. So I don't know the significance of that. I don't know. I guess it was just, that's where it finally all came to be.
Yeah. Well, you would have been on a break as a teacher then, right?
I was an administrator at the time. We were actually on a break. So, and we just had a big, Christmas with all the kids in town and all of that. So it was, it was probably just like the perfect opportunity for it to all come together.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. I just read on the airplane home, a fantastic book on leadership called Powerful by Patty McCord. She was a founding member of Netflix and was, if you're in business and business leadership, have you seen the Netflix slide deck? That 15 slides, I guess. It's got like tens of millions of views. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was her thing, right? And she was a big part of Netflix growth from back, I guess we might have viewers watching our show today that don't understand that Netflix used to mail you DVDs, these little CD looking things.
Sure. Yep.
We might have viewers that just didn't know that. But yes, so she was with Netflix from that start to, oh my gosh, we're growing like crazy and we have to have DVDs in the queue and we need to create that technology, to streaming, to the realization that they took 1/3 of all bandwidth on the internet at one point. So really she's seen tremendous growth. And so reading this book on leadership was very interesting in the way that she communicates. So like for you, I'll ask you this question. I'm going right off script. Like Ben prepared this script. Like, I don't care.
That's okay. It's all
I went
good.
off script with my first question.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I'm just like, we're just doing this. We're doing this show. Just shake the
Well, and if I could interject real quick backstory too, if you don't know about Netflix, for those people who don't know, is they actually offered themselves for sale to Blockbuster.
Yep.
For $50 million, and Blockbuster laughed them out of the room. And fast forward to today.
Yep.
Blockbuster should have made that deal.
Yeah. Now there's
So,
like
a
one
little sidebar
Blockbuster
there.
store that's
Yeah,
like
right.
just staying
Yeah.
open for nostalgia purposes.
Which is a
Yeah.
documentary probably on Netflix.
Right. Yeah, more about Netflix than the staying open
Yeah,
one block.
exactly.
So anyway,
So, it's all good.
so in the book, she really talks about the power of proper communication, the power of proper leadership, really understanding your role as a. So for you, I mean, when you work with leaders, what's one of the biggest things that you see where leaders are deficient or could improve upon? Like, where are they struggling?
Sure. Well, I think what happens a lot of times, and candidly, and it's a perfect setup. Thank you for that question, Jeff. One of the very first things I work with in all leaders is for them to help understand themselves, who they are as people, who they are as a leader. You know, how do they think? How do they act? How do they tick? How do they engage with other folks? Because candidly, a lot of times in leadership, that's one of the things they don't take time to reflect upon. And once they do that, it also gives them a lens to see how they interact with other people, especially those around them. Unfortunately, what happens so many times, and it's part of human nature, is we tend to think that everybody in the world sees the world through the same lens we do. But obviously, we know that not everybody does. So that's probably one of the very first things that I work with folks on, is just helping them to understand themselves. There's some key tenets that I really work with, the idea of building trust and sustaining that. And as you said, communication is key. If they can't communicate effectively, if they can't engage effectively, they're not going to be able to move forward. Or unfortunately, they're going to make a lot of pitfalls along the way that'll probably somewhere can be very challenging to come back from.
Yeah.
What type of businesses do you work with? Is there a particular segment of the business community that you focus on, or small businesses, large businesses? Give us a little insight into who you work with.
Candidly, it varies. I work with both. I work with startup companies as well, just individuals who have an idea. Keith, I saw that you had an idea and you turned it into a business. All the way up through, I have a longstanding client of mine is a national firm that has offices coast to coast. But I would say that even though I work with a variety of different industries, I kind of have what I call my core four, and that's all in the professional services industries, attorneys, accountants, engineers, and those in the financial industry. And I always say this, and I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I will. But people ask, well, was that purposeful? And I said, well, I wish I could say it was, but it was one of those things that as I was engaging in the early days of my firm and having conversations, I found that those four industries in the professional services industry really, there was a need that my firm could offer. And that is many times in those industries, they come out of school, they're highly skilled, highly trained, highly educated. They'll go into their industries, they'll work really hard, they'll have some success. The next thing they get promoted, up the leadership pathway without really any preparation for that. And then they find themselves not just managing a project or, managing a book of business or whatever the case may be. Now they have to manage people and they have to lead people. And so it's allowed me and allowed my firm an opportunity to really help those individuals.
Yep. You mentioned that you cut grass and had a paper route. I think for youth, especially today, but I think there's a commonality for people who are successful in business that have done those jobs, those roles, right? Those hustles. Door to door selling is another one.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Do you see a lot of, like, to me, I think there's immense value in, from a young age, kind of earning your way. There's always a commonality you touched on. We didn't have a lot, but we had a great family that taught us this, and this, right? I find an awful lot of leaders that share that as a common thread along with the hustle thread. Where do you see the value in that? Like, do you see value in that? Should we be doing more of it at a young age with kids? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think there is a lot of value in that. One of the things that we get to do is we get to make our path, but at the same time, if we're making our path and we're hungry at the same time, it tends to give you that inner fuel that keeps you going. I always tell folks that, and even clients and even just colleagues and friends, if you have a desire for something, I have actually the sign in my office here says it's a beautiful thing when your passion and your advocation come together. It's just one of those things. If you can be hungry, if you can just let people know that, I think the biggest thing, and I'll kind of take a sidebar here. I think the biggest thing comes down to fear. A lot of times for folks, it's just they're afraid. They may have a great idea. They may have a dream that they want to see happen. And it's the idea of fear that stops them, as opposed to just saying, you know what, take the step off the cliff. You might fall, but you never know. You might be surprised and feel like one of those little Warner Brothers cartoons. You just float up there in space for a minute until you get your footing, and then you take the next step.
Yeah.
One after the other.
Yeah.
What type of pitfalls are you helping businesses and leaders avoid? Why are these services that you're offering so important for a business and for a leader?
Well, I think one of the pitfalls I kind of mentioned too already is that, when you're seeing the world through a singular lens and you're not taking a chance to step back and, I see this issue or this problem, this circumstance this way. Ben, you're going to see it this way. Jeff, you're going to see it this way. We make the mistake, I think, a lot of times is we think all three of us see it the same way. And each of us has a skill set that we can bring to this situation. We have our own set of strengths we can bring to this situation. We have the own way we think about it, the way we respond to it. So I think that's one piece. The other one too is, as you mentioned already, just being able to communicate, have a conversation, understand that, as a leader, your biggest role is to help facilitate, is to help guide. So be able to provide guidance, to be able to bring people together, in a cohesive manner is another piece of that. And then I think finally the piece too is for a lot of industries, we get siloed into a mindset that puts us on a path, and if I could jump back to what I just said a moment ago, at the time, Blockbuster was one of the largest corporations in the world, and they had the corner on so many different things, but they had a mindset that was limited, and they didn't take the opportunity to see another opportunity or potential. So their inability to innovate, and this is not to be diffing on Blockbuster, but their inability to innovate didn't allow them to then look ahead. And I'd say probably the final piece is to go into a piece or whatever work you're working on, a project, if it's a personal journey, if it's a corporate journey, to go with the idea of succeeding on purpose versus letting it happen by happenstance. That's one of the things I talk about all the time with my clients, is that success is something that you can plan for. If you leave it to happenstance, you might get it, but then you might not.
Yeah,
that was a very long answer to a very short question. So
it's good. I mean, people tune in for our little jokey stuff at the beginning, but then they want to hear from you. They want to hear from our guests, right? We have one of your fans, John Arisman. He said you're a great guest, so that Keith Floyd is the man. That's what John says. So there you go.
Thanks, John.
We got Abigail tuning in. We got Jonna tuning in. So
Prizelator is going to be spinning for a while.
Spinning. That's good.
Yep.
It's going to be for a while. There you go.
So you had said something. I was going to comment on it. About success being happenstance. Yeah, I'm a big believer in it being very intentional about success. So as we always try to focus like on our backyard here in Lancaster County. So to me, I see something special about the entrepreneurial spirit, the journey here in Lancaster, right? So
absolutely,
because I live in Sinking Spring. Like I don't think I've hidden that here on the show. I don't think that's earth-shattering news. Certainly not going to upset the news cycle today of the Will Smith, Chris Rock debacle. But yes, Jeff lives in Sinking Spring. So I've seen in my 25 years, really kind of traversing back and forth between Lancaster and Berks County. I've kind of seen those two cities flip. Right. Kip says, thanks for sharing. Yes, sir. Right. Like that's a bad thing. It depends who you ask. Anyway, I've seen those two cities like kind of flip flop.
Yeah.
So like, what do you see here kind of in Lancaster about the entrepreneurial journey, the spirit, the drive, that intentional success? What do you see as a basis for that success here in Lancaster?
Well, I think it's something that, and again, it's not unique, but I think it's very special here. And that Lancaster has a compass, like what I feel is a very strong moral and ethical compass that helps guide. If we're doing things on purpose and we're doing things purposefully, or purposeful way, I should say, in that manner, I think I have a client of mine in one of the conversations we had one time, their business, they summed it up when they were having a leadership meeting that, we'll go out of business to do the right thing. And I think that's another mindset that I think is alive and well here in Lancaster and in Pennsylvania. And I think really, I think a lot of ways, it's what has guided so many businesses and industries. Unfortunately, there are the flip side of that, but I think for a lot, if you just go into it saying that, we're going to do the right thing, and if we do right by people, people will do right by us. And, some of those old, my late mother would say, the golden rule and all those things, there's a lot of truth in that, is that if you treat people with respect and if you be honest with them and you help them, it comes back. And I think that's the beauty of the entrepreneurial journey. I think that's the beauty of this community. There are just good people, Yep. I had a boss years ago. He said, life is pretty simple. He said, you have one rule to follow. And if you follow it, he goes, life will be very easy. And I said, what's that? He goes, just be nice. You're just nice. He goes, it'll come back. And I agree with that.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree 100%. I would add to it, be nice without the intention that anything comes back in return.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just be nice and it'll come if it's meant to.
Yep. Yeah.
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 Yep. It's just thinking about, that what you were sharing is really the core of how and why Gardner's was founded 31 years ago by Jim Gardner and of course, instilled in us. And when we took over 12 years ago now, it's 12, yeah. So it's 12 years.
Yeah,
12 years.
But it remains the core of who we are and what we do here. And, it's not any surprise that's why, businesses succeed, having that sort of mentality. We had your website up earlier. Producer Chris had that in the background. You have a lot of information and education on your website. Maybe you could talk about some of the things that, some of the resources that you have on your website.
Sure. I'd be glad to. One of the things that I tried to do, and then I, want to give a shout out to Rhoda Marketing. They helped me with my website, and to Kelly Johnson, who did all my photography and that. They were great in helping me craft that and curate it. And in the website, one of the things they helped me to do is to put up some videos. The video that's up right there right now is something that I just did in-house at the start of the pandemic. When the world stopped, a lot of my work had to change. So quickly had to remodel my home office a bit and create an in-home studio, which is still in effect today. At the same time, then, other resources that are on there. I'm a big book guy. I love books. So there's a short reading list on there. One of the things that I do offer is I created something back in 2017 called a Thought for Thursday. It's an email blast. It's a social media post, and just random thoughts that I have throughout the week. Things that hit me, things that resonate with me. I'll usually put those into a thought, and the Thought for Thursdays are one that are out there that you can even sign up for on the website if you want. Hopefully they give a little bit of, get a little bit of interest, give you some, meant to give you some pause, give you some reflection, and maybe do some learning along the way. Cause, it's my background in education and as the title for today, it's just, it's all about, learning and becoming the next best version of ourselves. And hopefully that can be a part of that as well. So there's some books on there. I have a blog, got a white paper. I did one a little while ago on creativity, on ways to think about and look at creativity a little differently. So just a smattering of what's on there.
Very good. Question for you on the charity side.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a two-parter question.
Okay.
Again, going off script here. Sorry. I'm the off script
That's okay.
guy. He's the script guy. So which charities do you like the most here in the area? Maybe that you support or you're big fans of the work they do. And then two, what other businesses are you seeing that are really like kind of supporting the community that supports them? Like they're really throwing themselves into charity.
Sure. Well, there are so many great charities here in Lancaster County and beyond. A couple that come right top of mind. With my background in education, I love the Power Packs program. If you're familiar with that,
we've had Brad on the show. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's right. He was one of the past guests. The ability to help, the families and kids that are, that have food insecurity, to help them. That's near and dear. Another one that's near and dear to my heart. Unfortunately, there's some background history in my family of cancer. So the American Cancer Society and hospice, they're tremendous people, what they do. And another one too is that over the years it's supported is the Long Home and the work that they do. That's something that I've been a part of a couple of their gala events over the years, and it's a great organization. So those are just a few off the top of my head.
I'm not familiar with the Long Home. What do they do?
Yeah. So I will probably not do justice by giving the quick background, but I'll do my best. So the Long Home was established back over 100 years ago, and it created, initially, I believe the impetus was for a lot of women that maybe their spouse had passed away and didn't have the wherewithal for them to be able to support them. So it's created affordable housing for those folks, but it's not just that, it's involved. Life is a journey, and sometimes things happen that we don't plan on, especially later in life. And it's just one of the organizations that has done a lot of good. And there's some great stories, and they're just not too far down the road. So again, they would be a great guest to bring on, I think, too, at some point. Again, I don't want to be an injustice to their background, but that's just quick.
Yeah, certainly sounds like somebody we need to have on. So if you have maybe after the show, if you can make an intro, that'd be great. If you're near and dear to them, and we'd love to have them. That's what this show is all about, right? Like,
absolutely,
we believe that we support the community that supports us, and these conversations help support the community because we can introduce our listeners to guests like you just shared. And you said Long, L-O-N-G, right?
Yeah. L-O-N-G, Long Home, yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. I learned this week on vacation I need to go have my hearing checked. So
that's okay.
I do. I actually do. Seriously. So
it was. Well, and I probably need to articulate a little bit better. It's a Monday.
It's a Monday, and yes, no. I have this problem hearing where, like in an open air environment where there's like a lot of background noise and machines and HVAC going, I can't hear the person right in front of me.
I'm very much
so. But like the noise in the background becomes prevalent. It's odd. So I have to go check it out. But you're not the doctor to help me with that.
No, I am not. I am not. Played one on TV once. No, just kidding. Okay.
Keith, you don't have to name names or anything if you don't like, but what can you
name names here?
We do. We do. Can you share some success stories, some scenarios that you've become involved with, that you've helped with?
Sure. I mean, I've worked over the years. I've worked with a number of different individuals, some coaching. It's one of the 4 prongs of my firm: the coaching, the training, the planning, and then an analytics piece. But couple of probably the bigger success stories I would say is that in the training and professional development, I mentioned a moment ago that I work with a national firm. It has offices across the U.S. I'll actually be doing another engagement with them coming up here midweek. They're bringing folks in from all over the country. And I've done, this is my third year-long engagement in leadership development with them. And over the course of the time, in recent years, 3 of their more recent senior vice presidents within the firm have come out of the programs that we've done together. So I've been honored by that. I do that in concert with another colleague of mine who's a consultant based out of Canada. And another I just recently came aware of too is that I'm doing another year-long engagement with another firm, regional firm, and this will be my 4th leadership development engagement with them. And a recent statistic is they are a firm that's been around for a while, and within the last 5 years, that I believe that all of 90% of their current leadership of practice group leaders have been through my programs or been through iNVISION Group's work over the last 5 years. So I think that's a testament I'd say to the individuals. I'm just honored to share my thoughts with them and to share some insights with them, but they do the hard work and do the heavy lifting. So that, to hear that 90% of their leadership has been through one of the programs I've done over the years, that was very humbling, and I was honored by that. So.
Well, to that, I like to say well earned, right?
Thank you.
Because to me, like, deserved is an entitlement word, right? That's my belief. So I don't say well deserved, because I think when people put the work in, they earned it. So I always, oftentimes you'll catch me on social media typing, uppercase W of well, period, uppercase E, earned, period, because it was earned. It wasn't, you didn't deserve it. So congratulations. Steve commented about the value of having a coach. And I think let's touch on this for a minute, because I think people look at the coaching industry, or people look on the outside looking in, they kind of look at it quizzically. They're not sure what it's about, what it's there for. We've employed various coaches over the years in our business and are part of various groups to help further ourselves, myself, the company. But like for me, coaching is about really, the biggest thing I need out of it is accountability. Like I need to know that every so often somebody's going to be checking in to say, Jeff, on our last call, we said this was going to happen. Mm-hmm. So because my problem as a business owner is I just adjusted in my seat. My body's wrecked. My knees are killing me. I'm having a hard time sitting in this chair today. But to the point, as a business owner, my mind's all over the place, right? And I can't even finish the question without going squirrel. So
it's all good. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So a coach, especially in the business, really, to me, the measure of a good coach is that accountability aspect.
Right.
But for those looking in, I mean, what is the power of having a coach in your?
Sure. And I appreciate Steve's comment as well. And shout out to Steve. I mean, Steve's a great guy and does great work as well. I think the issue with coaching is, for one, it's for a lot of folks, it's that unknown. It can be a little bit strange at the onset, being able to open up and talk about things. But I said, one of the pieces I tell all the time, and Ben, I think you've heard me say this even in our conversations. When you get to a point in leadership, I said a lot of times leadership is like playing whisper down the lane, and you're always the last person in line. So where somebody can turn to the person next to them and ask them a question or ask for a conversation, sometimes in leadership, you end up being you're the end of the line. So having that opportunity to turn to someone and have a conversation like a coach, to be able to say, hey, here's something I'm thinking about. What do you think? And a big part of my coaching practice is very syncretic. One of the things I like to say as well is that, for instance, I'll take you two gentlemen. Your industry so well. Yours is not an industry I'm familiar with, but I also believe that any person who has a problem or a challenge before them, you have the answer inside of you to that problem or that solution inside of you. You just haven't asked yourself the right question to allow that solution to come to the surface. Whereas I think a good coach is that person who can ask the right questions at the right time to allow you to find a solution that you may not have explored before. And then again, to have that confidant too, just to be able to say, I need some help with this. I've given this example in the past, and I share this with my coaching clients. They have access to me as needed. And a couple of times, I remember one just a few months ago, I had a client of mine who texted me on 9:45 on a Friday night and said, "Hey, do you have a few minutes?" So I texted back, said, "Sure, give me a few." And for about 45 minutes, from 10 to 10:45, we're on the phone because there was an issue that had risen in the business with, and I won't go into detail, obviously, but they needed some advice prior to Monday morning at 8 a.m. And we chatted about it. It's just, and again, I just asked a lot of questions and allowed them to kind of sift through, because unfortunately, as you said, Jeff, as a business owner, there's so much going on. And a lot of times it's being able to sift through all that other noise that's there to really get down to what's really the root of this, and then what's the best pathway or pathways. There could be multiple. And I think that's really where a coach can come in and help people, is just to be able to, one, they have to listen intently and listen to not only what's being said, but many times what's not being said. And then being able to use that information and use that insight to then dig a little bit deeper. And then to help the individual, again, find those answers that are inside them that they just haven't come across yet.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree 100% with what you shared there. It kind of reminds me, like, you asking the right questions, finding the right answers, reminds me of the story of Beowulf. As an educator, I'm sure you're familiar, or former educator, I'm sure you're familiar with the story, right? To me, the story of Beowulf is very appropriate to business leadership.
Yeah.
Because until you get to the root cause of the problem, Beowulf's mother is going to come out from the swamp and keep crushing you. Right? Basically what's going to happen. You got to go down to the bottom of the swamp, find the right object, the right tool, in Beowulf's case, the sword, and slay Grendel. Until that happens, Grendel was the offspring of the mother. Slay Grendel's mother. Until that happens, till you get to the root of the problem. And that's where a coach really comes in. It can really, truly help. So it's really cool work that you're doing there.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So listeners, how can someone get started with you and the iNVISION Group?
Easiest thing to do is just to go to the website. There, all my contact information is there on the website. In addition, that there is, and I probably should mention this as well, is one of the things that I offer in all of the 4 lines of the firm: the coaching, the training, the planning, and the analytics, is I offer a complimentary, what I call an exploration session. The exploration session is an opportunity for me and for the individual who's interested in having a conversation to kind of figure out what's going on. There's buttons activated on my website that they can go and just either email me directly, or you can call me. Either one is fine. And we could set up an exploration session. And one of the things I like to say too is that, my hope is that I could be a good fit for you. But again, it may not be. And there may be someone as well. And I have a lot of colleagues within my network. And that has happened as well, where, I can be able to help them find, I can be a conduit for that as well. We're all here to hopefully better ourselves and be the next best version of ourselves. And if I can have the honor to do that, that's great. So people can contact me. And if not, maybe I can help you find the person that would be the great fit. Because it's all about working together. It's all about, leaving this world better than we found it, or helping others along the way.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. I mean, one thing personally, we have a lot of folks that listen to our show. So even if you're not a business owner, if you're somebody who works for somebody, what Keith shared here today, I hope was informative to you, but to put a little bow on our time together, I think the challenge that I've given myself is to try to be 1% better each day, and that compounding effect. So be happier in the morning when you get up, cuss a little less, make a better choice.
That was a hearty laugh there, Ben. That was a hearty laugh.
Yeah.
It's improved.
Yeah.
I remember one time I told Ben I wasn't going to cuss anymore, and I think he about spit his coffee. But anyway, the lesson here, folks, getting back to, let me do my thing. Trying to be 1% better. You're derailed.
Keith interrupted you, not me.
I apologize. Yeah, I will own that one. That was all me.
But for everybody listening, I mean, really, it is that commitment of being 1% better. So if you hear anything from our show today, try to be that 1% better each day.
Yeah.
For yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your coworkers. If you run a business, lead a team, for those people, it will come back around in spades to you in way more than 1%. And again, I mean, one of our missions here is to help people wake up happy so they are more productive. So they are happy. And again, if it's that 1% that you just compound on each day, that's great. If you need help kicking yourself in the butt for that 1% each day, and you are that business owner, you are that business leader or that team leader that can get with Keith, please do. Because
I'd be honored.
I'm sure you'll kick some butts and get people in order as needed.
Sure, in a very nice, kind, gentle manner. But right. The end result, right? Exactly.
See, that's the touch you have. I just have I'm going to just like
you're like pile driver.
Yeah, we're just going to pile drive this into you. Yeah, that's just what we're going to do. But no, Keith, it was fun having you here on the show.
Thank you.
We had a good time together.
We're not done with Keith.
We're not done with. I know. I was sorry. He has the script.
That's okay.
Like I said, folks, I was on a. I do my own podcast for one of my own ventures that I have outside of this business. So I'm a 2-a-week podcast guy for a long time, but I didn't podcast at all last week.
Yeah.
So I feel out of it.
Yeah.
And I didn't podcast.
I don't know. It would have been interesting to see a podcast from last week though, too, especially if there was,
brother, I tried. I really did. I was so stressed out. Yeah. My laptop took a surge in the hotel, I guess, and just fried overnight. Because I did everything right. Like I prepped the day before. I went through, tested my connection, the speed, everything was good. Little pro tip for you, by the way, if you're listening out there.
Okay.
Well, Keith is listening too, but everybody else. If you need wired internet in your hotel room, unplug the Ethernet cord going into the back of your TV.
Oh.
Pro tip.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah. Your marquee hotels, your name brand hotels all have connected TV anymore. Well, it's all through a little modem hidden behind your TV. And there's an Ethernet cord there, often long enough to stretch out to your laptop or device. And you get wired internet. You don't have to pay the Wi-Fi. So this little trick there.
Look at you. You're going to get an extra line on your bill.
That or like Hilton and all these places are going to blacklist me like Enterprise has apparently. And I won't be able to rent a room anymore. But for now, there's your tip of the day.
There you go. That's a great tip.
And Chris has a tip there, speedtest.net. I used that. Chris, I locked in at 19 in the hotel when I did that, which is like 4 times what you need for what we're doing right. So anyway.
Well done.
So that's enough of the off-script session. We're back to the script.
Keith, I know the answer to this, but our listeners do not. How long have you lived in Lancaster? Tell us your Lancaster history there.
My Lancaster, so I'm not originally from Lancaster. I came to Lancaster in 1986 to go to Millersville University. And so started off in Millersville, and a little side story, because I know Ben, this is a connection as well. What ended up graduating with a music degree. But actually started school as biology, nuclear medicine.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So music, biology, music.
Well, I always say it was next M in the course catalog. So I went from medicine to music. So it's just, if it hadn't worked out, I don't know what would have come after music. I don't know. I have to think about that.
Did you blow your food budget on Sugar Bowl bowlies too?
I'm not even going to lie. Yeah, there are a lot of Sugar Bowl bowlings in my life.
There's no other way to do it. That and Young Ones took all my money. That it was gone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was gone.
Oh, absolutely.
So we've got another Millersville listener. I'll give a shout out to Keisha. Get the words out. She is giving a whoop whoop to Millersville University. So and just a B question: where did you come from to go to Milledgeville? Where's home for you?
Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Home of Little League Baseball.
There you go. Yep.
It's just great when your town's known for a group of 12-year-olds that come and visit 2 weeks out of the year. But,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Very cool. Thank you.
And second question, what is your favorite restaurant to go to?
That's a tough question because there are so many good restaurants in Lancaster. But if I had to
before you answer, is it a tough question because you have 3 restaurant clients and you don't want to pick one of them?
No. No, it's a tough question just because I like to eat out a lot and I go to a lot of places. But I have to say, if I had to pick my favorite restaurant, I'm going to give a shout out to Craig Tressler down at 551 West.
Okay.
Yeah, and
gift cards from them in a bid to give away. I'm a pretty simple guy. You give me a good burger and a nice cold beer, and life is good. And his 551 West burger is out of this world.
Now, what makes it out of this world? Like what? I mean, obviously, there's all kinds of things you can do to a burger, but what are they doing? What?
It is, and it sounds odd, but trust me, you just got to go with it. It's a half-pound burger with cheddar cheese and bacon, but then it's got jalapenos and peanut butter. And you would not think to put peanut butter on a burger, but it is just phenomenal. You put a nice cold beer with it, and some of the truffle fries.
Looks like the picture right there.
How's their
the garlic palm fries?
I don't need to talk about
peanut butter on a burger. It sounds so strange, but it's so good. It's outstanding.
That is interesting. I think it sounds like they are worth the trip just right there. I've never had peanut butter burger.
Is that gluten-free peanut butter?
Peanut butter is. The bun would not be.
Okay, so you'll have to wrap it in lettuce.
Right. Thank you. Yes.
Sure.
Last one, and it's another favorite question. Favorite Lancaster annual event that you go to or look forward to?
Oh man, that's a tough one too. I've always enjoyed the concerts at Long's Park. I've always enjoyed those. Back in the day, this is going to show my age, but I remember just, the 4th of July concerts that used to be back in the day, out there, especially with the Lancaster Symphony. And then, former Mayor Smithgall used to bring out his antique cannons and set those off. I mean, that was always a highlight.
I think he still does that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Are we back?
So he used to scare my children every time the cannons went off. But besides,
they did them last year. The concerts.
So we're back.
Yeah,
awesome.
We all go. Yeah.
There you go, Lancaster back.
Awesome. Yeah. Free entertainment. Great for families.
I remember.
Absolutely.
This would have been the first summer we moved here, so it was summer of 1990. I guess I was born in Canada and moved here when I was 10. And so the first summer we went to a Long's Park concert, but it was so full that we walked under the tunnel, right?
Oh, yeah. From the
tunnel still
from the wall, yeah. Yep. From the wall parking lot.
It was so full, like we basically put our chairs down on the other side of the tunnel. It was that packed.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's this
it is crazy.
Kid from like kind of north central Ontario. Like these are all the people I've ever seen in my life in the spot. It was pretty wild.
What's all of this, eh?
Yeah. So anyway,
great.
It's good to know they're back. It's good to know that you enjoy it. I think you've made a burger friend out of Amy. She's going to go to 551 and try that out. So there we go. Just making connections.
It's amazing.
Mr. Connects.
It's amazing.
Peanut butter burger.
Peanut butter jalapeno. Like, you got to remember the jalapenos on it too.
Oh yeah. Okay. So that's I like how we're back to the burger. I mean, the peanut butter is a twist, but like peanut butter and jalapenos and bacon.
But the peanut,
and cheddar.
The peanut butter helps cut the jalapenos, so they get the flavor, but you don't get the zap of it. That's the nice part.
I want the zap. I want my tongue like over here.
Well, go see Craig. Craig's the man. He's the owner and just an all around good guy.
Sounds like I have to have a peanut butter in the fridge at the campsite this summer with the burgers.
Absolutely.
Stay tuned, Lancaster Connects family. Camping season's coming around the corner, and we have a whole season 2 menu being planned.
We're
going to add that on.
We should plan an episode on a Monday from the campsite with the burgers.
We'll have to check the speed test.
And
Oh yeah.
I take pictures. Whoever can give the best peanut butter burger, just have a competition.
There you
I
go.
like it.
There you go.
All right. Well, Dr. Keith, we'll call you Keith once. We'll call you Dr. Keith twice. This has been a pleasure having you on the show.
Oh,
We've got a little bit more business to do on our end, but if you want or need to take off, please do so. But we really appreciate you being on the show with us.
well, and I just want to say thank you, gentlemen, for having me. It's been an honor. It's been a privilege, and it's been a lot of fun. And so I just I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm going to do a shout out to you guys, for all that you do, and everyone needs to come visit you there. So
Thank you. And thanks for being our guest. Appreciate you.
thank you.
All right.
All right, see you guys.
Yep.